Hello, everybody, and welcome to VFR. Today we are here on the ground with a new airplane, the H-Jet for Microsoft Flight Simulator. A fun little business jet. Basically, it's almost like a TBM but with jets. 6 passengers, 2 jet engines on these cool wing pylons. Obviously, in real life, it's the Honda Jet, but for now, we're going to call it the H-Jet. And yeah, we're here on the ground at Greensboro, Piedmont Triad Airport, North Carolina. This is one of the final assembly plants for them where they make them here in the States. So you'll see a lot of Honda Jets on the ground in Greensboro, North Carolina, because that's where they're made, one of the main factories. Let's go ahead and get Fly Live Studio set up real quick. We are here at KGSO. We're going to be going to KHXD, Hilton Head Airport. And today we are number 2128 Victor. So I forgot to change that from the other plane, the C-110 or the 310. So thanks for coming along. This is just a little bit different airplane than we've been flying. A lot of 737 lately, and this will be it's kind of a G3000 based cockpit and airplane. So obviously the H-Jets, you've got this kind of neat and a little weird and wacky bulbous cockpit out front. Again, the wings, or the engines, the defining feature really is the engines are on these pylons coming off of the wings. They're not actually attached to the fuselage, or to the cabin, I should say. They're attached onto the wings, which is a unique design. Gives you a little more space in the cabin in the back there. It also supposedly helps with noise in the cabin and vibration, making it a quieter airplane. It's pretty cool. We do have ground power. We have doors open and everything, and we're just getting basically set up here. We've run the before start checklist. We're now ready basically to start engines. So let's go ahead and talk through where we're going today. If we pull up our EFB, we have N-Sky Vector today. Let's get that all full screen. Essentially, we are starting out here. If we go to the VFR map, Greensboro, North Carolina, KGSO, we're going to basically fly out to Klein, the waypoint here, and then to Sachs, and then down into KHXD. That's Hilton Head Airport. Here, I think I have a freeware scenery installed there. We'll find out when we get there. But it should be fun. We're not going to go too high. I figure we'll cruise around 20,000 feet. This airplane is perfectly capable of going up to 43,000 feet, I believe, is the upper bound. And but for now, we'll keep it kind of low. Short flight should be just about an hour. Just trying to get my sea legs with this thing. While we're here, let's go ahead and get the weather. METAR TAF at KGSO here today on Weather Simulator. Looks like we've got a 6-knot wind, 240, and yeah, so that's going to be pretty good for us there. Last thing we need to get set up is SimToolkit Pro. And get back to the cockpit. So ChartFox, let's pull up the charts for Greensboro while we're getting situated. We said, what did I say? 240 at 6. So we'll probably come in one way 2-3 if I was a betting man. One of the 2-3s. I think there are 2. So GSO. We bring up ChartFox. Let's bring up our airport diagram here. So we have 2-3 left, which is closer to us. We're bound by these 2 hangars here. We're going to taxi out via, looks like Mike 2-3 left, and we'll depart out basically to the southwest. Should be, that's easy enough. So thanks for coming along tonight. Again, just kind of a little bit getting our sea legs here. If you've used any G3000 capable airplanes, it should be pretty familiar. It is the based on the working title G3000, which is packaged with the sim, so you don't actually have to download anything else, I believe. And then the developer has added a couple more things to it for the special things. So I'm running through the checklists right now, which is all controlled down here. So we ran before starting engines, batteries down here, oxygen, all this stuff. So we've run all this. Now going to starting our engines. I should probably close the door and get rid of the ground power in a second too. So let's head to home. So we can close the main door. Now you just got to figure out how to get rid of the ground power. Those cover the engines. I suppose we will wait, actually. Electrical. So this controls all my displays here, which is good to know. And we were on checklist here. So starting engines. So we've done our passenger briefing. We're going down to Hilton Head on that on the route I showed you. We are good. Rudder pedals are good for me, working. Seats and seat belts are adjusted and secure. Doors are closed. Parking brake is set. I do hit this button when I try to hit the button on the checklist, and I should be. So if you hit that button there, it'll mark off everything on the checklist. It's a nice little feature. Doors are closed. Parking brake is set. Our CAS messages, we've got low engine pressure. That makes sense because the engine isn't started. When we have low fuel pressure, that makes sense. We have no fuel. Engines are shut down. Generators are off. That'll make sense. They're in normal mode. So that's good. So no strange messages. It looks like electrical 23 volt. We have 23 here. So we can tick that. Engine start. Selected engine. Press. I wonder if there's one I'm supposed to do first. But we'll go ahead and start the right engine. So that's 10.3. Do I have to move it out of idle, maybe? There we go. Okay. So that's a start. And what am I looking at here? Got 50% into... I assume this is N1. It's a pretty good start on engine 1. Again, it's a pretty simple, straightforward cockpit. Lots of buttons, very modern. This is a very modern airplane. And I'll try and dig up some details on the H-Jet for us soon. Now, I think the Honda Jet I think of the most is the Alpha Tauri F1 Honda Jet. I don't actually know. I doubt they actually fly it that much. Or at least the F1 drivers do, but it seems kind of small for them. But it is just this kind of very small, almost personal jet. There's a couple of them out there. The Cirrus Vision Jet, I think, is similar to this. There's another one in development. But it just kind of scratches that niche for something a lot smaller than even a CJ4. A working title CJ4 dwarfs this. A King Air really dwarfs this. This is really yeah, it's almost like a personal light aircraft business jet. It's really interesting, and it's just a fascinating design. First flew in 2003. It's in production and in service. There have been 200 built as of, or no, it was produced in December 2015, according to the Wikipedia, and 200 have been built as of December 2021. That looks like a good start on engine 2. Let's go engine 1 now. And if you're an H-Jet expert, or a Honda Jet expert, or business jet expert, or a G3000 expert for that matter, feel free to chime in on what all I'm doing wrong. A little rusty on the glass cockpit stuff. Again, we've been doing a lot of airliners, and I've been flying this 310 too. But I think the first thing I think of when I see this cockpit is the TBM. And a little bit of the King Air, but the King Air has more switches. The King Air is bigger. This feels a lot more like the TBM. So that's 10.3. Let's go ahead and move our throttles out of the idle cutoff. And on this flight, we'll be checking out some of the automation. Again, not sure exactly how it works. But that looks like a good start. We got 23.2. If I just move my throttle, will that work? That will do something. All right, good. So, engine start done. Engine instruments are looking good. Anti-ice, we're not going to need any right now. It was pretty hot out today. And I can't imagine North Carolina was much cooler. External power can be disconnected at this point. So let's, how do I disconnect external power? Looks like they've self-disconnected. They got the hint, so that's good. We'll check that off. Flight controls. This is important. I'm getting stick. Rudder. All right, we're ready to rock. So our before taxi checklist. Wing anti-ice. Again, not required for today. Transponder. This would be good to start to figure out. Because again, you could definitely... This is definitely a VATSIM capable airplane. We can go... So here we got our radios. Transponder down here. We will do something 2525. I don't know. And I wiped it out. And now... So I'm not sure how maybe I have to do it over here, too. We aren't on VATSIMs right now, so it's not a huge deal. Oops, there go the flaps. But again, and this all feels very, again, very modern, very diamond-like in terms of how the throttles look and all of your buttons. There's not many toggle switches like the 737 we've been flying a lot lately. Basically the opposite design philosophy, which is interesting. All right, wing anti-ice. Let's start checking stuff off because that was doing good for me. Transponder code is entered. Flight ID, today we are November 2128 Victor. Our flight plan needs to be entered. So flight plan, we are at GSO. Piedmont Triad International Airport. We are going to KHXD. Hotel. X-ray Delta. Hilton Head. And we'll add an en route waypoint. Now I think in the chart I have the Triad 9 departure Klein transition. So let's add that in. We will depart on the Tri 9 Klein transition. We will take runway 23 left today for departure. Well, yeah, let's show it on the map. I want to show the map. Yeah, it's very simple. We're going straight to Klein. So good, easy departure. And I backed out of it. Load. No arrival into Hilton Head. Let's see what the weather is. KHXD. No wind, so it's really our pick. We will assume we're going in the same way. So Hilton Head has a 2-1 and a 3, so we'll take runway 2-1 and we'll shoot some kind of approach into 2-1. So we have a localizer for 2-1. We can do the RNAV. Let's do the RNAV for 2-1. We're going out to Fuma and then just flying in. Okay, cool. So that's easy enough. We'll load that. No arrival. And then our only other waypoint that we're going to need to add. Klein, our en route waypoint was Sax, Sierra, Alpha, Charlie, Kilo, Sierra in the southeastern US of A. All right. So that's that. Let's bring back up the map and just get some of my controls set up. So I'm panning here. Fly runway heading, then go to GSO. And then Sax, and then it'll take us to Hilton Head. Why are we desynchronized? What happened here? GSO, Klein, then Sax. We'll keep an eye on that as we're going out to Klein, and then after Klein we'll head to the next one. Okay, so that's the flight plan that is set up, and in our nav source is we want to be FMS. Our altimeter Piedmont Triad today, 3006 is the Barra. So altimeter 3006. 10-mile visibility, no ceiling. We are VFR there. Flaps set for takeoff. Now, I don't have any documentation in front of me. I really just pretty much installed this and got rolling. So I'm going to assume we'll run with takeoff flaps, TO approach flaps. Why not? That's an assumption on my part. Speed brake. Does that do something? Yes, it does. So there's a good little speed brake on the back. I like that. We'll retract that. And then cabin signs. Where are my cabin signs button? I imagine down here. I mean, there's not that many panels to hunt for things in, so that's a nice feature. Mute. Control. So if you see seatbelt signs or anything like that, let me know. We'll put them on, but we'll just yell into the back and tell them. Batteries are on. We're all good here. Got our standby barrel, which should be also set 3006. So cabin signs, we will bring that off. And now we're ready to taxi. So we need to check the brakes, check nose wheel steering, and check flight instruments on the taxi out. Today, what did I say? We're going to runway 23 left via Mike. 23 left via Mike. So let's take the parking brake off. Do we have chocks on or anything? No, we're good. Do we just need some oomph? Yeah, just needs a little oomph. Well, welcome aboard. Yeah, another Bizjet. It does look pretty functional, especially if you like the G3000 kind of setup. Reminds me a lot of the TBM with jets and probably a little shorter range, but that's all right. One of those cool personal little jets. And then it should be a right-hand turn out of here. Right-hand turn, Mike. Yeah, Mike to 23 left. Again, if you're just joining us, we are on the ground here at Greensboro, taking a look at the H-Jet. Greensboro is one of the places in the world that they make these. I'm not sure if it's the only one or not. I'm really just jumping in and flying tonight. But yeah, they make Honda Jets in Greensboro, so if you live in the Greensboro, North Carolina area, it's a place you can see Honda Jets. And again, I assume that's some kind of final assembly and fit and finish type facility. Taking a look at the outside. We got lights on. I remember hearing something about it being somewhat automated. Am I on the right side or am I going the wrong way? Nope, we're on the right side. They must have elongated the taxiway. Okay. I do remember something about the lights being automated. At least in some phases of flight. So aircraft systems, let's see. Lighting is somewhere. Exterior lights are here. So we've got everything on normal, which again should be, in theory, automated. So when we start to move, it should light up, I think. So that's a pretty cool feature for people like me who forget their lights. Goes to show you that it's not just sim pilots who do that sometimes, because otherwise they wouldn't spend the money to put it in. All right, we're going to taxi on out here to the right and take 23 left. We're, let's see, can I get a better view here? Base protection, we'll do fuel on the left-hand sides. And we will mess around a little bit with the automation. And then once I'm comfortable with that, again, if you're familiar with any real G3000 kind of airplane, it's not very complicated. You can follow the inbuilt charts, which are all built in on the Garmin. You access it down here, which is a nice little touch. For our altitude today, let's choose an altitude of... We'll climb up to 10,000 feet and then evaluate. No one there? No. Not sure what a good speed's going to be. Let me see if I can pull up some actual speed references here real quick. We should get our best cruise at like level 300. We can go higher than that if we want to. That's not really going to be what I want. Alright. So, let's give it a go. Paul, $25. And Wash, thanks for coming along. The yes, I believe the FADEC works in his model. Home screen speed bugs button. So I was messing with that. Let me try that again. Home. I want some options. I want perf maybe, speed bugs. So this is what I put in. Let me get from sim. So my get from sim is not working because it just throws all this stuff in. So I'm probably doing something wrong for the V speeds. So here it's got 75, 85, 95, which is what I put in and not correct. So let me just do one more and then we'll just go for it and feel it out. Thankfully this is a simulator and not a real well, if this were a real plane I'd have a big book of stuff, and they may have documentation. I'm not sure. I just haven't dug around for it. No, I'll just get general stuff on the Google. So let's see, we are just going to fly runway heading, which is going to be a heading of whatever this is, 234, and we will get ready and go. Set the weight first. So I should have had the weight set. Yeah, so weight and fuel, we've got all this stuff. 10,844 pounds, 340 pounds of crew, 2 passengers to all this. And then, let's try that. Maybe I'm doing this wrong? I'm not sure. It might just be a bug for me. We will see. So I'm going to hold on the brakes. I'm getting a warning. What's the warning for? Takeoff config. Cabin power. Config. Oh, pitch trim. Okay. So what should my pitch trim be? That's initialization. Where is my trim? Gotta be a trim indicator somewhere around here. There's, in fact, and you know, the other thing, maybe I should walk before I talk. Flaps set for takeoff. Trim set for takeoff. Speed brakes retracted. Well, trim is not really set. I gotta figure that out. Oh, here's my trim. What should it be? All good questions. Cast messages are, that's what we're doing, reviewing. Yep. Take off and... yeah, maybe. We have brief takeoff. Radar is required. Ice protection not required. Okay. Let's give it a try. We have trimmed it out a little bit. And that must have done it. Okay. So we're now in the MCT throttle detent, which should give us, from what I understand, our best engine performance in all our phases of flight. Ooh, it's getting a little... Really, we're at 95 knots. Doesn't really want to come up yet. So my transponder's off. Let's make sure flight director is on. Alright, we are away. And yes, this thing can climb exceptionally well. I'm really having to fight it to keep it down. I think it's like 4,300 feet per minute that it can do. So let's just get some of this symbology ready. We can go to GSO now. I get a velocity vector here, which is good. So I'm also just kind of relearning some of the symbology on the fly. That's pretty good. Alright, so gear up. Flaps up. Yaw damper looks like it's engaged. I wish I could bind that. You may be able to. 130 knots minimum flaps up. Thrust levers are an MCT. Flight guidance is okay. All this is good enough for our purposes at the moment. So thanks for coming along. If you're just joining us, we are departing out of Greensboro now. I'm getting a big noise from my gear, which didn't come up on the first press. So we're holding here at 2,700 feet. We'll try and make it an even 3,000 before we mess around with anything else. So let's punch in an altitude. Flight director. Or I should say I need to turn the autopilot on. Sync that to 35. So we're now in autopilot flight. Let's see. Are we in heading mode? We are. Overspeed. Oh, I'm going a little fast. Overspeed. 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 Let's bring that down just a little bit. A little hot. Not bad. So, MCT is not what I want for the... Well, so this is showing me overspeed. Let's go ahead and climb out. We'll set up a 265 knot climb up to 10,000 feet. Heck, let's make it 20,000 feet. And now let's do it. Alright, so that's good. Let's go ahead and try nav mode now. See if I can get to follow the magenta line. Good stuff. So that's the Honda Jet, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, the H-Jet. Totally not a Honda Jet. 2128 Victor climbing out of Greensboro. Let's go give it a good climb. That's 2,800. We could even go a little bit better, but that's all right. So we'll climb up to 20,000 feet. It should be just about a 50, just about a 50-minute flight. And there's some stuff I gotta look at programming in. It's saying this is desynchronized, which is interesting. So it's a little bit, there's a little bit of a learning curve with the G3000. Again, if you're more familiar with the G3000 airplanes, it probably is pretty much plug and play. But I've been flying clunky airliners for a while. You can also get your charts, not that I have charts to display, but you can get them if you want them. And so I guess here we could punch in our VNav stuff. So with all this, if you give the altitudes in your flight plan, it should be able to follow those with a setting, with a VNav setting that you can use. So it does have VNav you can use, and it should work pretty well. Hilton Head, do we have altitudes here? No, it doesn't come in with altitudes. So let's punch in our approach into KHXD. Text diagram. We're going to do the RNAV, the GPS for runway 21. Let's throw that up here. Pretty straightforward. This is taking us straight to jam. We could. And at jam, we want to at or above 1,800 feet. Backspace out. Now, did I miss a transition here? Let's see. Oh, and so you can set your VNav stuff here too. Interesting. Select approach, RNAV. Oh, FUMA transition. Is that what it's giving me? Yeah. Okay. So a little bit of Garmin switchology to learn. But so far, really, and easy up and running. It's fun little airplane. That really rockets on takeoff. And we are on our way. Let's get back into the stream. Yeah, November 2128, Victor today. Heading out to Hilton Head Airport, saying a 113, 112 Zulu approach. We now are now in MCT. We should, so that's not quite an auto throttle from what I understand, but it will manage the power in the climb and cruise pretty much automatically. I believe this is the cruise speed control, which lets us pick the speed we want in cruise, from what I understand. So that's all going pretty well. Let's move around the cabin a little bit. So if we go back behind the pilot seat, we've got, it looks like 5 seats back here. A little jump couch here. And 4 seats here by the windows. Good for window views. As we cruise out here over North Carolina. You and 5 of your closest friends, this little Bizjet. So that's a neat, seems pretty well fleshed out. I know a lot of the behind-the-scenes systems are fleshed out. A lot of care has been put into it. And this one's by Marwan Gharib, hopefully I said that right, and FlightFX. Bring this to us, $24.99 on the marketplace. So a good, decent price for a pretty fun airplane. If you're looking for something like this, a small GA or a small, almost like a GA airplane, but, you know, not quite a small light business jet. It's a good find. Gives me a reason to fly a little bit of a reason to fly G3000 stuff. I haven't flown a lot with the G3000. I mean to dig into the TBM a little bit. That's a good touring airplane that I haven't really messed with that much. So we're now climbing through 16,000. We will push that at 180. We can go over to some other more useful control. So we've got different status pages here. This looks like just a regular status page. So it shows us what our lights are doing, which is neat. Hydraulics, oxygen, fire bottles, and whether any doors are open. This shows, I believe, the climate control system. So we're running a good 23C here today. We've also got the electrical showing which batteries we're off of. Fuel, importantly, I loaded up the thing fully fueled today. So 1,300 pounds in the main center tank and 630 in each wing. That is it's a small fuel tanks for a jet. We're yeah, again, coming from 737, you're dealing in. Yeah, we could crank up the climb if we wanted to. Let's try that. Bike guy, good point. So we could probably bring it down to 250 even and really push this thing. So yeah, again, what I've heard is like 4,300 feet per minute. And Razalum says, looks nice, but someone you've heard it doesn't have VR zoom. Well, that would be problematic for VR users. So yeah, if you've used VR in the chat, or let us know. 310, but again, it's just small. It's almost like a GA jet almost. It's smaller, probably below the range for your compared to something like the CJ4. All right, so that's 20,000 feet. We will go into our standard climb and then climb, and then flight plan's not coming in quite right. We'll hit Sachs and then down to Hilton Head Airport. And again, I'm just kind of feeling my way out on this one. I don't have any of the documentation in front of me. So this is very much finding our way. You do get a nice, I don't know if this is on all the working title, probably. But I do appreciate the velocity vector showing us we're grabbing just a little bit. But all in all, pretty functional.
Overspeed.
Yeah, it's yelling at me. All right.
Overspeed.
Okay, so if I hit cruise speed control, the CSC button here, and then I can speed select here, whatever that speed is, and it should, if I put it, I think in MCT, it'll follow that. I don't know. Let's try it. That's takeoff. I don't want to be in takeoff. No, bring that down. Come on.
Overspeed.
Maybe not. So let's bring that down a little bit.
Overspeed.
And try that. Aerostar, hello. Welcome aboard. We are heading down to Hilton Head in our brand new Honda jet, or H-jet. So that's climb, and now it's hitting me to jam, which is not really what I want. I want to go direct to Sachs. It could be nav data too. So we'll go direct Sachs and then shoot the RNAV approach. $20,000 feet. We'll be coming downhill here soon, starting a descent into into Hilton Head. There we go. Okay, so I got... Must have want to match the speed and the throttle setting you want. Not sure. But now we should have cruise speed control, so I don't have to worry about it running away too much, hopefully. So yeah, the H-Jet, obviously, the kind of interesting design feature is that the engines are not mounted to the fuselage. They're mounted to the wings on these pylons. Which, in theory, and in practice, I shouldn't say in theory as if it doesn't work, that basically just reduces the amount of vibration going directly into the cabin. Instead, it puts a lot of that vibration from the engines into the wings and then out. So ultimately a quieter ride for the passengers back there. And you get a little more room in the cabin. So it's a little more spacious. And more room for baggage and stuff. Hold speed, it is at when pushed and cannot be changed. That makes sense, bike guy. Gotcha. So if I try to change it, it won't work. So the yeah, so my cruise speed button, it's going to do whatever speed I'm at. Interesting. And let's see, do I have any cockpit lights I can use? Maybe it's all in here. For our interior lights, let's bump that up a little bit. Oh, here are my lights. Okay, I gotcha. So it's all here. Fasten seatbelts and no smoking sign will be on for now as we head down to Saks. And then what did I say I wanted at Jam? I wanted 1,800 feet. So these little triangles are part of the windshield design right here. If you look here as my pilot disappears, those little teeth fairings, I'm not sure what they're for, but it's an element of the windshield design and the frame around the windshield. I don't... You know, it's hard to tell. Yeah, so, and Bike Guy, you're saying if I bump the throttle, it takes it away. Gotcha. So if I'm messing with the throttle lever, it's not going to, it won't be able to hold it because I'm messing with it. And then, now you see it's come off. That's now blue. It's not, the speed bug's not blue. It's not purple, it's blue. Let's go up to 260. Try holding it there. Is it going to go? Let's bring it up a little bit more. The homebrew VNAV. Yes, we will. We've got it programmed in. I don't know if it'll, we've got it rudimentarily programmed in. We can give it a shot, though. Let's give it a try. And, what was I doing? I was trying to get this to work again. So do I have to go... So what am I? Do I have to have it? There you go. So I am, you know, not a master at that. There may be an elegant way to do that instead of hitting it a bunch of time. Oh, I messed it up again. But hey, that'll work. All right, so we're now at 265 knots. 20,000 feet again. Our best cruising speed, I think, is at 9. I might hit something. Our best cruising speed, I think, is around 30,000 feet. Level 300. Speed must be stable to engage, so we gotta hold it. So you're telling me I gotta work here? That's what you're saying. I don't appreciate that. Okay, so there. Nope. Try it one more time. I got it so good that first time, and then I took it off like I knew what it was doing. That was a mistake, as usual. We'll throttle back a little bit. But it's really not running away too much. We're up pretty close to the barber pole, so let's back off just a smidge. We don't need to be at 270 knots. Going to decline, let's zoom in a bit. Triangle design supposedly tracks the temperature of the windshield, and then it'll throw an error on screen in real life. Okay, interesting. So some kind of temperature sensing mechanism. Thanks, as good as. So let's see, we've got, that's kind of not what I want. I'm not sure how much let me back up and add non-route waypoint. What is that? That waypoint is FUMA. F-U-M-M-A, which should be our initial approach fix. Maybe we want the one in the southeastern U.S., although it looks like they both are. And at FUMA, we want to be at or above 1,900, so let's go 2,000 feet. Hopefully that gives us 2 points to try out the VNAV. We've got VNAV enabled, but I don't know. How much to mess with that. That's showing me 50 miles. Can I zoom out on that? So we will try it out. Thanks for coming along, everybody, as we learn the Honda Jet. Messing around in this fun little jet. We got 2 jet engines in the back. Room for 2 crew and 4 to 5 of your closest friends. Now, I mean, if you load up full, you're not going to have as much range. I don't know what the exact hit on the range is at full load capacity, but there is a trade-off involved there. This is not something you'll gas up full and go forever. Again, the fuel tanks are not huge. 1,000 pounds in the center tank. 600 in either wings. I mean, that's 2,000 pounds. Heck, an F-18 might burn that on initial climb out and takeoff. But we're cruising along here over north, and eventually we'll hit South Carolina. In the Honda Jet out of Greensboro, one of the final assembly production facilities for the Honda Jets in real life. But a neat, unique, fun little airplane, definitely. And a lot of features are controlled in here. So like our lights, we also have the helpful checklist. We did the initialization when we started it off. We have fuel up now, which is fine. All that is good. I don't need an ELT right now. Brief stutter. So yeah, basically, if we're doing a little cockpit tour, we've got oxygen pressurization over here, your electrical master and generators, ELT, landing gear, nose wheel steering, and then basically autopilot panel up here, your baro, and some warning lights. Autopilot, obviously your big screens with all your information that is pertinent. These kind of control the screens, your Garmin units. Why is it beeping at me? Fuel crossfeed. What'd I hit? Oh, I hit that. And then we got ice protection, anti-ice down here. Fuel, which tanks we're feeding off of. Trim, all your pitch trim, roll trim, yaw trim. And then windshield heat. We've got it all basically on normal. Most of the stuff should be on normal, and it's a pretty smart airplane. It'll figure stuff out for you. Might be too fast. Yeah, we were hitting and see, now I'm down at 230. Let's try it down at, well, I hit the throttle. Let's try it down at 230. Let's try that. See, I think it has, I don't know, it's like it doesn't want to take it. Unless it's got to be really stable, in which case I may never get it. Getting distracted. So Aerostar, for VNAV to work, we have to have altitude constraints on your flight plan waypoints. Yes, so we should. So I've basically got a very simple flight plan. We left at a Klein. I don't have that in there right now, but we went down to, we're going to direct to Sachs right now, 20,000 feet. We want to cross Sachs at 20,000 feet. And then Fuma, we want to be at 2,000 feet. That may be a little aggressive. But you can see it's actually programmed in here. So this is the VNAV VSD screen here. This little bug here is showing us starting our descent at Sachs and then coming on downhill. And if we have to do some 360s over Hilton Head, that's fine. So yeah, if you, it's real easy. It's just the altitude stuff here. If you want to program that all in. Now it did not bring it in automatically for me. Yeah, exactly. But it must just be, I find that I have to hit it a bunch and sometimes it works. Bike guy. But yeah, so, but the one thing I will note is that it didn't bring in the altitude constraints from the chart. So from the ILS for the RNAV for runway 21 into Hilton Head, I programmed these in manually. So like jam at 18,000, that's manual. So I don't know, and I don't know if that has to do with the default nav data, or if you have Navigraph that comes in, but I had to program in all those separately. So something to keep in mind, but yeah, you do that. The vertical profile does help. It is nice. It's looking good. But that, who knows how fast going down that is. So we're doing good. We got... Okay, so we are here. We're getting ready to go down. Now, let's just take a look real quick while we're here, because this is what y'all came to see, is charts. We got the RNAV. It's real simple. Fuma, jam, runway 21. Not too crazy. Again, if you're just joining us, this is kind of the route we're doing. We are, to look at the U.S., U.S., you got D.C., New York, Boston, Miami. We're down here, Greensboro, flying south, all the way down to the Hilton Head Airport here, KHXD. I know for a fact there's a freeware scenery on flightsim.to. Now, do I have it installed or not? That is a good question. We will find that out through experiment. And it looks like, if we believe the overlay, about 20 minutes, 15 minutes left in the flight. We had a long way to go downhill. So Review Master, you're enjoying it? Flies nice. That's good. YPAD to YMML through 27,000 feet. Very nice. Very nice. I do like a good little, it's almost like a little personal jet. I feel like it's something someone who's very, very rich would hop into to go to breakfast somewhere or fly places they probably shouldn't. So not really built-in EFB, but you can display your charts on the you can display your charts here on the main screen. So if I have to go, do I have to go here? There's some buttonology to learn, but where's it here? Oh no, if you have to hit this one. So if you have Navigraph, your charts installed, it'll display the charts here on this screen. Because I don't have that, it won't for me. So let's go back to the map. No weather radar, but hopefully that'll come soon. Let's see, what else do we have? Well, see, now that you... Oh, okay, maybe. Let's try that. So maybe, let's try out mode. CSC. Ah, that looks like a charm. Works like a charm. That's it. Okay, so, yeah. So we had to have our altitude mode on. I hit VNAV, and that's what's knocking it out. So we're in VNAV mode right now. If we wanted to use our cruise speed control, we got to turn on altitude hold and run it like that. Yes, good catch. That's right. That's what it is. So we figured that out. It is a fun little jet. Again, you get a little bit more automation in it to help out, which is always nice. But it's also fun to hand fly. In my brief hand flying of it, we'll see how it lands. Does anyone have any idea what the approach speed typically is for one of these things? My V speeds still aren't. We can try it, but let's. Hey, there's something. 122. So I don't know why it's working now. So VREF 117, V approach 122. Do I need to hit that to put it on here? Okay. Well, there you go. And we do have speed brakes we can use, so that'll help. On the way downhill here, we can go back into VNAV mode. I'm not too worried about the speed. And let's just zoom in a little bit. So we're coming up on our what's going to effectively be our top of descent based on how we programmed in the VNAV. Yeah, Aerostar says 110 to 120, so yeah, that's about right. Yeah, 122. V approach speed, VREF 117. So coming up on SAX, I'm not going to touch anything. We'll let it come down on its own volition. Do I have to bring my altitude down? Probably. So we're going down to the lowest constraint's going to be 2,000 feet. Whew. Hold on. Now, why is it doing this? I don't want to go to... I wanted to go to... What was it, Fuma? Ooh, yeah, we're way too fast now. Alright, let's get speed brakes out. This thing's throwing itself around like a fighter jet. While I sort out the buttons on here. And the flight plan. VNAV has kicked in. It has taken us down. We are going down. Well, I think we hit 5,000 feet per minute there. briefly, and then did that wipe out my constraint? No, that didn't wipe out my constraint, so it should know where it's going. I don't know why it kicked us into the approach there. I may have this programmed wrong. I don't know. It's a little strange. Again, I'm not a Garmin expert. Don't claim to be. Let's pick up the... What is the altimeter at Hilton Head? That would be good to know. It was 3006 about a half hour ago. It's now 3009. So 3009. 3009. It's on the standby. And we are riding the VNAV down. We're a little fast still, so let's come back on the power. You do have to keep an eye on the speed here. And I don't believe that that's going to have any control. Well, yeah, that's going to have any control over our speed. And so here we're looking at the VNAV profile. It's a Fuma 2,000 feet. It's taking us negative 3.89 degrees. Required V vertical speed of negative 2,300 feet per minute, 2,400. So far, so good. I'm just trying to find a good throttle position that works. So thank you all for coming along. If you're just joining us, we are coming into Hilton Head Airport, Hotel X-Ray Delta. In our H-Jet, doing our first flight in that on the channel. So let's checklist. After takeoff, do I have any more checklists I can do? Looks like it. Yes. So climb, cruise. Yeah. We did all that. Altimeters and altitude systems monitor. Helpful. Of descent, landing field elevation. I wonder where I set. That Hilton Head can't be too high. Elevation 19. So we'll call that. That's pretty close to 0. Engine anti-ice as required. Transition altitude set. And the altimeters approach. We got seatbelt signs on, also not allowed to smoke. Our passenger briefing, we're going to shoot the RNAV runway 21, going to Fuma, 2,000 feet, and then down from there. Cabin signs as required, that's alright. Avionics are set. Landing data looks okay. We're coming down on the VNAV profile here. No cast messages. I don't know where it's going to throw me. So let's actually get set up for this, because I'm going to put into heading mode. And we're going to do a heading of 213, 213. Or be ready to put it into heading mode if it does something strange. So that's the approach briefing. If it does something strange, we'll look out. Before landing, we'll bring gear down. Speed brakes will be in. Flaps will go to landing. No ice, so we will go to full to landing. No need to go takeoff approach. And we can go takeoff approach. I wonder what my flap speeds are. Not sure, but we'll keep it slowing down. So we'll get it comfortably slow. So you're supposed to bring the flaps up at 130s, so, you know, I'd say anything below 150 is probably a good bet. Airspeed, our VREF is 117 for today, and our autopilot and yaw damper will be disengaged when we're ready to bring it on downhill. The last thing we can do if we're going to fly, not that I think it's going to matter, but we're at an elevation of 19 feet. Coming down through 6,000 feet now. Yeah, I'm not getting the audible alerts when it's changing modes either, Airstar. I don't know what you're supposed to hear, but there may be may well be a setting. Will approach kick in automatically? I don't believe. Well, I have no idea at this point. I'm more interested in what waypoint it's going to send me to next. That'll be the big key. Review Master's at flight level 420 now. 420. That is not bad. Not too shabby. Okay, so I think we're ready. We'll see. We may base plane here. That's all right. It is, I mean, if really in doubt, we'll go give it some power and everything will be all right. And I will zoom in and try to make sure that this doesn't kick me to that user point. We want to be ready to... Where are my procedures? And we do believe... Yep, we have the field in sight. Let's fly over some golf courses. Still doing 245 knots, so we are... And I don't have the speed brakes out, so that's good. So the next waypoint may not kick in because we're in direct to mode. That's fair. So let me activate this approach. And let it take it from here. Now, will VNAV continue to work? That's a good... Well, no. So VNAV's out now. So if we could hit approach mode, will that do something for me? So we've got glide path. It's going to spin me around a little bit, which is why we hit heading mode, or had that heading ready to fire. So I obviously need more practice with the G3000 setup. The PFD should show the next waypoint. Okay. Well, I clearly need some help with the G3000 setup, but that's all right. We're at 19,000 feet, and because of this is just so much fun, I'm gonna take control. So we'll bring it back. We're in the white arc. 195. We're gonna try and maintain altitude for now until we hit jam. We're gonna want to be above 2,000, above 1,800 jam is what we're shooting for. And I do not have a lot of power in right now, so let's go ahead and bring flaps out a little bit. And we'll bring out our trusty speed brakes. Again, 117 is our VREF. Let me find a good cockpit position. I feel like I'm right on top of the screen right now. So we're losing altitude. It's taking a bit of back pressure on the stick. As we shoot our approach into runway 21 here at Hilton Head. Still at 150 knots. Again, VREF is 117. I'd imagine this airplane's quite slippery. And again, we're looking to be above 1,800 at jam. Need to be in approach mode. So I hit it, so I hit approach mode and then it spun me around. So I'm not sure if it just missed the localize or missed the quote localizer. This is an RNAV. This requires a little bit of practice on my part to do right. Like anything. Can I get my, yeah, it'll get here soon enough. I got a little bit of white and a little bit of red on the poppies, which is not bad. 1,800 feet. We want to stay here. And just keep the speed coming back. It feels like we're really slow, but again, I got 20 more knots to go to my VREF. Coming up on jam now. 136 feels comfortable. We've got the field. Gear is down. Speed breakers were trapped at flaps are in landing mode. Airspeed's coming down towards VREF. We're now a bit high. Get rid of flight director. Yeah, sure. And that's all 4 white, so I'm trying to rechat and land. So we had flight director, try and get rid of that. It's not telling me to climb away. Taking us, it might have been taking me back to the IAF. Shouldn't that show in the flight plan though? I don't know. It's been giving me, the flight plan's been giving me an error the whole time. I don't know how much of that is user error, probably most of it. So that's 130. This is feeling, it is a very responsive plane though, so, but it doesn't really, if you put it somewhere, it's not going anywhere really too crazy. Again, I can't speak to how realistic that is, but it certainly feels good to fly. I'm not super stressed here. It's 122, that's pretty good. Let's give it just a smidge of power and keep it coming downhill. Try and hold 700 feet per minute, a bit high. I do not have very much throttle in at the moment. I really don't. I have a feeling it doesn't take a ton to do what we need to do. Just trying to catch up to the glide slope a little bit. Bit high, but it's coming in. We can start to bleed that off. Alright, here we go. Not much lower to the ground this time. Let's give it a try. A little float. A little 3-point landing. It does have good sounds. Definitely good sounds. Alright, welcome to Hilton Head, everybody. That is Kilo Hotel X-Ray Delta. We are in on 2-1. We want to go to the left to get out to the hangars and the FBO ramp. See my lights coming on? They came on automatically, so I even landed with landing lights like a good pilot. That's fun. Yeah, we'll taxi to the FBO ramp via Alpha today. These lights are looking promising. This is looking like I installed a scenery. Little floaty, yeah. It was just I was actually higher. I was higher off the ground than I thought I was really where I floated a little bit. I was like, oh, that's we'll take it for first flight. It's much better than my first 737 landing. Let's pull up to the FBO ramp here and get the door out. So I will have to dig up this link on flightsim.to, but free scenery for Hilton Head. I keep meaning to fly into here. But a perfect Honda Jet kind of destination for y'all if you're looking to pick up the H-Jet. Yeah, this is available now, or on the marketplace. I went and downloaded it after I got off work and installed it, flew it. That's pretty much it. All right, does it have an after landing checklist for people like me who struggle with that kind of thing? So normal landing. Oh, it's got a whole landing one. Thus, thrust levers, idle brakes, apply after touchdown. That's helpful. Speed brake extended. So I got to hit that button in landing. All right, cool. So next checklist, yeah, cabin signs are fine. Anti-ice, yeah. Speed brakes retracted. Flaps can come up. And we'll set trim in the green band. Oh, I see. That's a little green band. They're not kidding around about that little green band. Trim, next checklist. All right. Shutdown, parking brake, set. I hit it again. I assume I have to turn off the engines. Did I skip that part? Engine anti-ice off, external power on. Thrust levers to cut off. I should get external power on. So, aircraft. Let's go to systems. No. Nope, I don't want that. So this is all a good question. Let me, we'll shut off the engines and see. I'm hoping that brings out the...
Landing gear.
Nope.
Landing gear.
Keep gear down. So the menu has taken a little bit of getting used to for me.
Landing gear.
Yeah. So caution reset. Let our engines come down. But that's the H-jet. Click throttles, yep, into our idle cutoff. And that is it. So, all right, that's a pretty fun, cool airplane. I enjoyed that flight. I think it would be good on VetSim if I can learn the G3000 a little bit better. I think that's not, I think that's a G3000 user issue for me, personally. I don't, it's not one I have flown a lot with. But this is definitely a good airplane. If you're looking for a smaller bizjet kind of thing, something else to go along with your working title. And this feels, again, because of the G3000, it does have a little more GA modern glass feel. Feels a lot more like a diamond than the working title, which is with the, then I should say the CJ4, which is kind of CRJ-like in its flight management system. So if you're looking for something like that, definitely check it out. 25 bucks, it's pretty good deal if you're looking for that. And again, this is all kind of working title integrated stuff. So they worked with working title and packaged all their base stuff and then added on H-jet stuff to this. And yeah, I think it works pretty well. I'll have to do a little more practice before I take it on VATSIM, but I think you definitely could. So if you're looking for a bizjet, definitely check it out. So thanks for coming along on this full live flight here from Greensboro to Hilton Head. Hope you all have enjoyed. If you do end up checking out this airplane, let us know your fly drop in the comment section below. Should be pretty cool. Again, we usually do streams on Thursday nights, weeknight flights, airliners, GA stuff, kind of whatever normally. But that's usually our time slot around this time on Thursday nights. But this is a good, fun, full flight, and I had fun. And thanks y'all for coming along and helping us out and get this learning. Yeah, PFD is a little different, and there's definitely some learning to do with in the actual main. A lot of it is controlled in this panel, and I just need to. It takes a little bit to get the feel for everything and where it is. But good fun plane. If you're looking for something good, fun, quick, neat little, almost personal jet, you want to feel like a Bond villain or a Formula One driver, check it out. So thanks for coming along, y'all. Have a great night, and